Hello and welcome to the Mandalorian Fan Podcast as we cover The Bad Batch, Season 1, Episode 14. This is episode 36 of the Mandalorian Fan Podcast. I'm Hank,
And I'm Alex.
and we're your hosts, and we are going to get right into it. This was a fun episode. A
Oh,
clone
it was
trooper,
fantastic.
yes, a clone trooper is running through the woods being chased by some sort of like little dog animals, they look like, as well as other troopers. And he's able to put a beacon out. And I was like, what the heck is going on here? Because you see
See,
there.
I thought it was some type of an explosive he put there at first. I didn't realize it
Ah,
was a beacon until a little later.
oh, okay. That's a good one. Yeah, because, yeah, it did light up red, didn't it?
Yeah.
I was like, deet, 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 deet. Maybe, yeah, that's a good one. Rex hails the Bad Batch for help, and the distress signal was sent by clone CC5576, and it's originating from Darrow. And I was like, oh, here we go again, another departure episode. But Hunter is skeptical as the team debates what to do. Do you think that they're losing any solidarity within that team?
I don't think they're losing solidarity with one another because, they already lost Crosshair, so you don't want to lose any more. But, that debate was really good with what they were talking. There's like, what, if we don't, you know, work, we don't eat, which is and and then Omega is kind of like the voice of reason. And then
Yes.
Wrecker is just agreeing with everybody. And
I love
I
that.
thought that and that's me to a T. I'm Wrecker. I have a hard time making decisions and like, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, that's right.
Crosshair and the Admiral, they have a cryptic conversation. It sounds like a double cross on the Kaminoan Prime Minister is coming as the Prime Minister is arranging for them to get the heck out of there because he kind of sensed what was coming. And I was like, man, that Admiral is awful.
And is that the same scene too where the younger clones are looks like they're ready to leave and they're evacuating and they're all worried that does that mean we're not going to be clones? And it's not Tanway because I think they killed her off, but as a character similar to her
Mhm.
and she says no, you're going to be clones. But it's like, yeah, you're lying to them. They're going to be disposed of.
Yeah, they are. On Darrow, the Bad Batch figured out the clone was taken. Hunter can tell that there's something in those mountains because he's observing the ground and seeing like it can't just lead to nothing. So there must be something inside those mountains.
Right.
And then he orders Omega and Wrecker to wait at the ship. What about just the other week when he said no more sidelining you?
I think he just lied.
like a like a good parent, right?
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah,
so
forget what I said earlier.
yeah, I'm changing the rules of the agreement. It's a military base. Inside, they see new troopers with better armor. And Echo and Hunter argue over the mission. So um a lot of people having to talk Hunter into stuff nowadays, it feels like.
Now, if you're, paying really close attention, so we see these Republic commandos are training these TK units, aka stormtroopers, and they're the ones that have like they kind of have like a blue glow on their visor,
Ah.
and so again, they made their first appearance on a video game, and I think it was for the old Xbox back in the day called Republic Commando, and then Clone Wars, had them on. And so now these are an elite group of clones. So they're
Ah,
like
okay.
kind of like your special forces.
The best of the best.
Little do they know they're training their replacements.
Unfortunately. That was a cool way to get inside the base by riding the top of that elevator down. I really liked that
Yeah.
entry. And then they were able to locate the trooper like ASAP, and I found that to be hard to believe, but
Mm.
we'll suspend our disbelief for a minute. The Bad Batch,
I
they
think
locate.
I think
Oh.
it I think it though it would have been better if they would have beamed aboard instead of just climbing that elevator.
The
Oops.
Bad Batch locate CC5576, or Gregor as he's being called in this episode. Um,
Now supposedly Gregor has made appearances before, and I don't know if I buy it or not. So supposedly, um, let's see here. So there was an episode of uh Clone Wars in which he was supposedly, okay, this amnesiac clone that had some contact with R2, and supposedly he ended up dying, or seemingly he was killed in battle, but he wasn't really. And then he will make another appearance in Rebels in which, he does die in that. And let's see, where did I see that at? So there's that episode with Rex and a bunch of other retired clones. They're hiding from the Empire, and so he's one of those retired guys, and he does perish in that episode. But I don't know. There was another instance in which we're going to talk right at the end of the episode where you could tie some more Clone War things in, but I don't see the evidence there,
okay.
so I'm doubtful. But I'm just leaving it out there in case some other people like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense. But
On their way out, Gregor starts to tell them what's going on, but Tech triggers a security alarm. This is what I thought was really the dumbest part of the episode. They always have one on this series. And it was, why wouldn't Tech ask an actual captain who has been on the base for who knows how long before he made a move?
so I guess he gets the stupid Mike award for the episode. And not only that, but he's assuming they're still using Republic codes, and they're not. They're using all Imperial codes now.
Yes. And it just seems like for somebody so intelligent, he's done a couple things that are just like, whoa,
Yeah,
he's assuming instead of just ask somebody who would have knowledge of the situation.
right.
Gregor says their replacements aren't clones, but you've covered that. So he's like, he helped train them. But as they're trying to get out of there, their way is blocked. And I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be an entire interior episode. Here we go," almost
And
entire.
I thought this was kind of cool because, as they were going throughout this space, if anybody's like paying close attention, whoa, this kind of looks like the Death Star from the first Star Wars movie. And that's kind of, if you look at the walls and stuff, that's kind of the deco on it. And if you're really paying attention to the music cues, you have music cues from the first Star Wars movie going on, and oh,
That's awesome.
talk about exciting, because what they're trying to show is that bridge, so to speak, between episode 3 and episode 4.
Nice. On the ship, Omega is worried while Wrecker seems pretty relaxed. He's just waiting around, resting up. The team is under duress and trapped. They go through a vent, but here's the here's another part I'm gonna nitpick. All right, you seen how they boosted the first person up, and I would assume the second and so on. How does the last person get up? That way high vent that's up
They use the force and do a force jump.
there. I'm being nitpicky, but I really was like, who used to do that? Agents of Shield. there'd be somebody stranded on a on a rooftop, and a
Uh,
Quinjet would pull up to save them, and I'm like, "No, don't go to commercial. Show me that person go off the roof and land on the Quinjet. I wanna see that part."
yeah,
Ah!
that would
But
be even better.
that would've been outstanding, but,
And what and since we're being nitpicky here, the one thing I didn't understand about this, and I probably should talk more about near the end of the episode, but the stormtroopers are using, full on blasters, and they're just using stunners. So I didn't quite understand that.
and a base full of them too. You're just gonna
Yeah.
use the little bubble gun. I call it the bubble gun.
And I think, yeah. And I think the original intent was, they don't want to kill any of their brother clones, but these aren't clones.
These aren't those. They're not your, brother's clones anymore.
And so since they were given that information by by the old captain there, um Captain Gregor, he you think they could have just, pressed a button, all right, we're gonna put these to kill. So very GI Joe cartoon-ish and A-Team. If anyone have watched an old 80s episode
Yes.
of the A-Team, all this gunfire, no one's been hit.
Is this our, writers telling us that, "Oh, our good guys are not gonna resort to the killing like the bad guys would?"
I don't know, because Wrecker's gonna come through here in a little bit and do like the exact opposite. He has his when when they rescue
Okay.
him and they're
Yeah.
and he's and the one guy he hit was the one Republic commando, his brother clone. He went fly. He pelted him with that repeater gun he had, and it wasn't on stun, and he went fly, and he seemingly fell to his death.
Yeah,
So that,
we didn't see the big blue circle come out.
yeah.
Gregor tells his deserter story, and then they ask for a lift from Omega and Wrecker. Omega's able to hover the ship pretty close, so some of them are able to jump on board, and we're still gonna have to rescue the rest of our team, and, they
I
were
think
like,
I think it takes though a Jedi like skill to do that.
right, it should. She was able to do it, so maybe, a little red arrow with
Uh-huh.
pointing at her with Jedi in the text. Uh, they are able to restore their systems from the help of that little robot. What's his name again? Gonky or something?
Gonky, yep.
Yeah,
He's a
and,
gonk droid.
he is epic, man. It looks like a trash bin, but okay, that's cool. Uh,
Yeah. For those you old school people, we would call him the power droid um I think it was the second or third series of the original Star Wars action figure line from Kenner.
wow,
So
nice.
I still have mine.
They lose the ships after that are after them and grab the remaining members of the team, except Hunter misses the jump. He would look like me on Ninja Gaiden, classic Nintendo, almost to the top. Nope, drop all the way back down to the bottom, start over. So he missed the jump, man. And those jumps aren't any joke. But he orders them to leave. He has his knife out at first, but all those troopers are there, and he's like, "Put the knife away, surrender." So I was like,
Yep,
"Oh,
and this was the scene in which a lot of people were saying, if you pay close attention, you can see a commando character by the name of Scorch. Now, I've been on more than one site that kind of confirmed that. I look carefully and I even paused the screen. I don't know if that's Scorch.
oh,
It's like, you know what? You probably could tell that's any commando clone trooper that you've ever encountered.
oh, okay."
Um, and so that's, well, he's got the yellow on the armor, and he's has the blue visor. I guess you'll have to wait till the next episode to see if he has a speaking part or not, and calls himself Scorch. Then we can say, okay, it was Scorch.
It was for sure him. Okay. Well, good catch if it ends up being true.
Mm-hmm.
The admiral goes to visit the prime minister, so they caught the Kaminoan medical personnel kind of getting set to take off, and the admiral says, "I have a use for a scientist, but not for a politician." Here's another ignorant moment. Why doesn't the prime minister have like security on him 24/7?
Yeah, that's another plot hole. It's evidently he's not that important. So you think he would have at least a clone force as his like
Yep,
guard. So yeah, that's
bodyguard.
yep. So they take the scientists, and then we don't know what happens to the prime minister. We can just if it's the umpire, probably going to be executed.
Yes. Do you think he's done for, or do you think there's any chance he gets away?
Um, well, we didn't see any deaths.
Mm-mm.
There are
Nope.
no off-camera deaths. So right
No.
now he's still alive.
Anybody who ever dies off screen doesn't die.
Right.
I'd be like, I went down the hatch and I used a clone of myself to make it. You'd be like, all right, okay.
Yeah.
Lastly, on the base, Crosshair confronts Hunter in his cell. Oh, that was good. That was good, good, good.
Yep.
Well,
Disappointed that he didn't have the whole batch of them, but Hunter's good enough.
he was like, I wanted to have a 5-year reunion. Where's the rest of everybody? Well, are you ready to dole out ratings for this
Yeah.
episode? I liked it. I thought it was a fun episode. It had some hiccups, some bumps in the road there, but there was a lot of good action. Um, I'm kind of curious how this hunter thing plays out and stuff. I I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna give it a solid 8 out of 10.
Okay.
Where are you at?
Uh, um. Well, I'll tell you what. Much better than last week. Last week, that episode was just filler. This episode definitely was not. And again, the 25 minutes were up, and it was not, the episode was over. I was like, come on. And so I'm like, this was a wonderful episode. I just kind of, just the nitpicks with the use constantly using the stun. Yeah, why are they doing that versus the just using the full on blaster? Um, but it was an excellent episode. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10.
Nice. Good, good, good. I'll let that in there. Yes. Last week we weren't so high on the show. This week we
Not
were.
at all.
We got a piece of feedback here I'd like to play real
All
quick. It's
right.
short.
Hi, Hank and Alex. This is Russ. Hope you guys are doing well. I just watched episode 14 of The Bad Batch. Wanted to touch base with you guys. I thought it was a good episode. Not great to me, but I thought there were a lot of really interesting developments. Tip of the cap to you, Alex. I think that you said the Kaminoans may not make it through the season earlier. I believe you said that, and it looks like they may not. There was also the really interesting transition that we're starting to have from the clone troopers to the stormtroopers. So that was interesting and cool to see. And then obviously we had the interaction with Hunter and Crosshair at the end, kind of teasing what's to come in the next episode or two. So I liked the episode. I wanted to leave you guys with a question though. What surprises, if any, do you think are in store for us to end the season as we kind of are in the final arc? Thanks, and talk to you guys later. Bye.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Russ, for sending that in. He's always got great
Yeah,
stuff.
thanks, Russ.
Transitioning from clones to the stormtroopers.
Yeah, to the TK units, the stormtroopers.
So
I probably the only another thing I didn't quite like either are the helmets that they had the TK units using. I think I would have been full blown stormtrooper helmets
all right.
instead of, but that's me. So speculation, surprises, and so there's a lot of discussion about possibly um, Omega having force capabilities.
Yeah.
And there's this one reader had this theory that uh, Anakin Skywalker was the progeny of clones. And so what they did was, um, his mother, Smee Skywalker, had an immaculate conception. Okay. And so the theory on it is that the Emperor used clone DNA with these high chlorophyll
Midichlorians.
metachlorians. Yeah, that's something we be talking about because that's kind of a word that people just go when when they hear it. But anyway, so there's this theory that Anakin Skywalker, and then in that case, that would be Luke and Leia as well, were all off. They have some type of clone DNA in them, and the the Kaminoans, they Palpatine was in war like this with them, and again, this is going to transition over to what we saw in the Rise of Skywalker as well. And so the reason why they kept that scientist is, what, uh the Emperor is in a decaying clone body and they need to renew it. And so again, that's just speculation, folks. That's
Ah,
I'm not saying Palpatine is a clone right now, but that's the speculation that he really is. And so he has to, be in a new clone body every so many years. And
okay. Interesting.
but that's just a theory. And I read that and like, okay, I thought, in my opinion, it was kind of far out there, but then the more he explained it, it was like, oh, that kind of makes sense now.
What do you think about for surprises for the end of the season? Do you think I get the sense that there is some crazy double cross coming up, and I can't figure out where it's going to come from? Because let me ask you this: another thing I noticed in this episode that I thought was odd is, are the inhibitor chips not a big deal anymore? I mean, you're starting to have other clones just kind of freewheeling it lately.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's a very good question because maybe there were faulty inhibitor chips. I don't know.
On a lot of
Um,
them or something.
yeah, yeah, because there
Beca-
were quite a few of them that,
Are second
especially
guessing. And,
yeah, especially what 2 episodes ago when
yes.
all of those clones kind of surrendered. And
Yep. So
yeah,
I think a double cross is coming, but I can't tell from where. I would love to say I feel like it's going to come from Crosshair, like he's going to double cross the Admiral. But I just can't put my stamp on that just yet.
I don't know. Maybe we'll see a double cross from one of the Bad Batch themselves. And
Oh,
who could one of the likely suspects be? Well, could it be Wrecker? He kind of acts dumb, but is he really dumb?
that'd be crazy if he did. He was like the
I don't know.
mastermind behind the whole thing.
Yeah, could it be? Could the big double cross be Omega?
That'd be awesome.
Mm,
Like I tricked you all.
yeah.
I doubt it. But surprises, I'm sure there's something to come. But if Crosshair says he's gonna help Hunter get out of there or something, I would love to see that. That'd be cool.
So what? So are we in 15 episodes or 16 episodes?
It's supposed to be 16,
Okay, so we're
so
2
it
more
should be two more to
episodes
go.
left, and all right. So and this set it up for the season finale quite well.
Yeah, yep. Because
So
now they have a reason to be up against these guys, and
I
they're
think,
gonna need help. They're gonna need the
yeah,
rebellion help, I would assume, to hit a base that big.
I
So that'd be
think
great.
a surprise to go along with Russ. We need to see some more, characters from the original Star Wars trilogy. So we need to start seeing Vader, need to start seeing well, Tarkin kind of made an appearance, so maybe
Yep,
another
he sure
appearance
did.
by Tarkin, and maybe some rebel appearances. So
That'd be-
maybe
I'd love it. Anything else?
no, again, I can't wait for the next episode. So Friday can't get here soon enough.
Yay. 2 to go. Russ, thanks for sending that in. Everybody else, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe to this podcast wherever you get your podcast from. We greatly appreciate it, and we'll catch you next Saturday.
See ya.
TPE Network. There ain't nothing else like it.